Manoitel, good morning, and how are you, faithful? Captain Niner coming to you with your Captain and Coffee morning report for March 3rd, 2025. Not much happened over a weekend, just kind of a slow, boring weekend, just chilling. Yeah, we know that's full of shit. There's a whole lot of stuff that kind of happened, and it's basically all 49ers wide receivers related. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Obviously, the first thing on the list is the fact that Deebo Samuel no longer a 49ers. He has been traded to the Commanders for a fifth round draft pick. And that was Saturday afternoon. Me and Anshel went live. I want to say it was about 4 o'clock or so. When it started breaking and stuff like that, my phone just all randomly just started blowing up with people texting me and notifications coming through. But yeah, so no more Debo. I know I'm probably in the minority of people who still believed in Debo. I don't think he'll have a season that bad again. I mean, last season was just about as low as you can get with everything else, and I figured next year would be a bounce back year. I truly did. But we're not going to find out. So now he goes over there and makes a pretty good duo with Terry McLaurin and, their rookie quarter or their soon to be second year quarterback with Jaden McDaniels. So what I can say is that thank you, Debo. You truly had one of the most remarkable seasons in franchise history where you literally carried us to an NFC championship game and we just couldn't get past there. Um, yeah, but like I said, that is the way things are. And like I said, there was a very heavy weekend for 49ers wide receivers related news because it is also being speculated that the 49ers are very open to also trading Brandon Ayuk. Think about that. Your three starting wide receivers are on the possibly on the trade block. And while I don't think the Brandon Ayuk one is as likely, mostly because of the injuries and all that kind of stuff, I also think that given the opportunity to move on from him because of his injuries is something that if given the right compensation, I'm actually all for. Again, this isn't a knock on BA or anything like that, but he is coming back from just a terrible, terrible knee injury. We don't know if he's ever going to be the same again or anything like that. All we know is that his knee is fucked, for more, lack of a better word. We don't know how he's going to come back. We don't even know necessarily when he is going to be back. I don't think he'll be back till at least November. So you're looking at him missing, up to 3 quarters of this season. That said, if we're able to get some draft picks or at least a draft pick, if someone offered me a fourth right now for BA, honestly, I'd probably take it. Especially if he comes with, like I said, with the whole thing with Debo, they took his salary and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's huge. If another team is willing to also do that for BA, I am okay with them going. Not like I said, nothing against BA, but we don't know what's coming back. We don't know what the kind of player he's come back. This isn't a simple ACL tear or anything like that. The guys come back for. He destroyed his knee. Again, that to me is the reason why I would even contemplate moving off of BA in any sort of way is simply because of how bad it is with his knee. Because again, we don't know. So what does that make the wide receiver room look like? Well, that looks like as if we started the season right now, most likely your starting wide receivers are going to be Dwan Jennings, who I think is going to end up getting an extension out of this, Ricky Pearsall, who has started to turn it on late in the season. Yes, he had the injury to start the season, then the shooting. Then he had kind of a rough couple of months where I'm not sure if it was just we weren't using him. He had some nagging stuff hanging over from the shooting or whatnot, but he had a rough month or so. And then finally, the back end of December into January, he finally started to pick it up a little bit. So he'd be your number 2. And then your number 3, I would assume right now, which is just going to be would have to be Jacob Cowing, simply because that's what's on the list. I mean, it would either be Jacob Cowing, or would you prefer to have the older wide receiver in Trent Taylor? We also have on the roster, we have Russell Gage coming over from Atlanta. We have Isaiah Hodgins coming over from the Giants. 2 guys. I like Russell Gage, to be honest with you. I'm not as high on Isaiah Hodgins as a lot of other people are, but I've liked what Russell Gage has brought to the Falcons. You know what I mean? He's not necessarily going to be a number one explosive kind of thing, but I think he does well in what he does. Those are comments. Good morning, Miss Veronica. She is heartbroken, obviously, about the whole Debo thing, and she had a big place in her heart for Debo. So that is what. Unfortunately, I didn't see your comments over there earlier. So good morning. How are you doing today? Also on the team, obviously we have BA. BA is going to be on IR for, like I said, most likely till November. And then also on the practice squad, we still have T.O.'s kid and Tariq Owens. I know a lot of people so high on him, and I don't get it. I didn't think he didn't have like the most productive year the last year out of college. I don't remember him standing out particularly well in training camp than any of that I was supposed to see or that what TJ reported on or anything like that. So I just don't get it. But hey, you know what? If he turns out to be, a solid wide receiver, great. This does change what I do think about our draft. Where if you had asked me 3 weeks to a month ago, what I thought, I wouldn't even really thought, wide receiver was kind of an afterthought as far as my, being in the draft. But now I do think it's something we are definitely going to have to pay more attention to in general, and we'll see how that turns out come draft time. So we got that. Let's push this over. And then as far as today goes, we do have the last day of the combine. We've got the offensive linemen doing their bench press, and then they'll be doing their, their depart interviews where they come by and say hello to everybody. So that's all that's really left. I know me and TJ will probably tomorrow be going over more about the whole BA situation in general. And then, talking about some of the guys that we met with and all that. I'm still putting together my list of everybody and all that kind of stuff, which, be honest, if you guys want to look at the list of everybody we talked to, just go find Steph Sanchez on Twitter. She does an amazing job. Like that is her thing. She knows everybody we've talked to, all that kind of stuff. So make sure to jump over to Steph Sanchez's stuff on Twitter. It's 49K. I use her YouTube channel, so it's another good one to watch. As far as the rest of the month, so obviously tomorrow is the end of the franchise/transition designations. Teams can no longer franchise anybody, so that ends. And same thing with are we going to put a second round tender on this person or that person? All of that ends tomorrow, Tuesday. Then, even though, let's be perfectly honest, it's already started. Next Monday, legal tampering begins at 4 p.m. Pacific time. But let's be honest, because a lot of this stuff goes down, the combine. A lot of these guys were all together. They were already, doing meetings with each other behind the back and all that kind of thing. Hence the reason why the Debo trade happened is probably because these guys are all hanging out, talking together. Kevin Markel on TikTok is asking, do I miss Debo? No. Well, let me rephrase that. I do miss Debo because I thought he would have a bounce back year, but I also knew it was going to happen. So it's just the writing was on the wall, was going to happen. So it was like I said, as much as I thought Debo was going to have a bounce back year, I was prepared for it. So I already kind of knew it. And so it makes sense that he was going to be gone then. So again, next Monday is when legal tampering begins, the early legal tampering. And then we have Tuesday where there's still the quote unquote legal tampering. And then next Wednesday, the 12th, is the official start of the 2025 NFL season at 4 p.m. That is when we are going to see a flurry of signings and all that kind of a stuff that will start. It's going to jump through. Typically, me and TJ do our show on Tuesday. We are actually going to move it to Wednesday simply because why not? We always start on Wednesday simply because that's when the league year starts. That's when all the information is going to start jumping out. There's really no reason to go live on Tuesday. But to be honest, honestly, on Tuesday we'll know a lot of the signings, but nothing can be official. Officially, at 4 p.m. is where you're going to see people being signed left and right. And even before that, I'm sure Ian Rappaport and all those guys are going to have, this person's going there, blah, 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 even before the 4 p.m. Because, again, legal tampering. And then pretty much everything shuts down for the next 2 weeks until the league meetings are on the end of the month. And that's pretty much all that happens. And that's all for this month. And then the month after is when we go into the draft. But all right, everybody, that's all I've got. Everything for this morning. So please again use the link in the description below to get your goat fuel. Sponsor that is the energy drink that is created by and backed by Jerry Rice himself. The link that I'll put up for there, it has get you 10% off, put some money in my pocket, makes everybody happy. As far as the rest of the day, as far as Niner Faithful Radio and me concerned, we don't have anything scheduled for today, unless obviously a big trade or one of those kind of things happen, just like on Saturday where I wasn't planning on going live in the afternoon, but obviously we will. So again, and then until then, so next time you'll see me will be tomorrow. I'll do obviously the Captain Coffee morning report, and then tomorrow afternoon, me and TJ will be live at 4:30, talking about everything up to this moment. All right, faithful. Until then, have a good Monday. Kick its butt. Buff tie tail lover. One love.